Once again, this is Kripa, and today I shall take you through a very simple topic, tenses. Yes, students, it is a very simple topic, but at the same time, very important as well. So, to understand tenses, let us understand a verb first. Let us revise about the verb. A verb means ash. A for action, S for state of being, and H for having. Am, is, are, was, were, will be, all these are state of being verbs. And the words like have, has, had, these are having verbs. These verbs are divided into two sections, finite and non-finite. A finite verb has a subject, it also has a tense, but a non-finite does not have a subject, it does not have a tense. So students, what is the meaning of the word subject? A subject is a noun or a pronoun before the verb. Let us understand all this through an example. While swimming, he broke his tooth. Students, we all know that there are two verbs in the sentence, swimming and broke. There is a word before swimming. The word is while. Do you think while is a subject? No. You remember the definition of the subject? A noun or a pronoun before the verb. The word while cannot be a noun and it is not a pronoun. Hence, it is not a subject. The word swimming does not have a tense. You might think, oh, it has a tense. It is a continuous tense. Well, I shall agree with you. But tell me one thing. Which type of continuous tense is this? Is it present, past or future? I am sure you must have got confused. Yes, students, this word swimming, only ing word, does not have a tense because we do not have any verb that indicates whether the action is in present, whether the action was in past or it is future. Thus, the word swimming is a non-finite. Let's take a look at the next one. The word broke. The word broke has a word he in front of it. And we all know the word he is a pronoun. It is a pronoun before the verb. Thus, we have a subject. We also have a tense. We all know it is the past tense. So students, the word broke is a finite verb. Now that we know the difference between finite and non-finite, let's take a look at the different verb forms. Because these verb forms help us to make a sentence. For example, present, past, past participle and present participle. Let's name them as V1, V2, V3 and no, not V4 but ing verbs. For example, play or plays. We all know that sometimes we say I play and when we use this verb play with the pronoun he, we don't say he play but we use the extra s. He plays. Hence, there are two present forms, play, plays. The past is played and coincidentally the past participle is the same, played. Present participle, it always ends with ing. Thus, we have the word playing. Let's take a look at the next one. Drive or drives. The past tense drove. The past participle this time is a little bit different, driven, and the present participle is driving. The next one now. Eat, eats. Past is ate. Past participle eaten. Present participle eating. The next one now. Go, goes. Past will be a total different one, went. The past participle gone and the present participle once again ending with ing, going. The next one, cut. Past is the same, cut. Past participle cut. Present participle cutting. Students, I know that you all know the word cut cannot have cutted, cutten as the past or the past participle. Thus, even the words like put, putted, putten or hurt, hutted, hutten, we do not have such words in English. They all remain the same. The next one now. Come or comes, came, past participle will be come once again and the present participle is coming. Students, the past participles always end with ed or sometimes en, t, n, and there are certain irregulars also. Let's see the next one now. What is the word tense? The tense word actually comes from a Latin word tempus, which means time. And our time, the time is divided into three forms: present, past, and future. And so, even our tenses are divided into three: present, past, and future. Our tenses are further divided into four forms as well, which makes 12 tenses in English grammar. Let's take a look. First, simple. So we call it as simple present, simple past, and simple future. The simple tenses just state an action. The next one now, perfect. But this time, we shall not call perfect present, but the other way round. We will say present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect. And what does it indicate? It indicates that the action is completed. The next one, continuous or progressive. We shall name them as present continuous or present progressive, past continuous or past progressive, future continuous or future progressive. It indicates an action which is going on. So, have we finished with the types of tenses? No. 3 more are left. The types of perfect continuous. They are called present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, and future perfect continuous. What does it indicate? It indicates an action that is started earlier but still it is going on. Thus, students, we have 12 tenses. The present tenses divided into 4, the past into 4, and the future also into 4. Let's take a look at the formation of the different tenses. Let's see the simple. The simple we all know is divided into 3 again: simple present, simple past, and simple future. Let's see the formation. The subject, remember students, a noun or a pronoun before the verb. So, we have a subject and V1 with the S. Remember students, what is V1? Yes, it is the present form. And sometimes we have the word S. We have the letter S. For example, he writes. But suppose if I have to use the subject as I, shall I write I writes? No, it's wrong. I will say he writes, but I will say I write without the S. Let's take a look at the next one. The formation of simple past. Subject and V2. V2 means the past form. What is the past of write? Yes, wrote. So my answer becomes he wrote. Now let's see the formation of simple future. Subject, will or shall, and V1. We don't use will, shall, both, but we use any one out of the both. What is V1? Remember, present tense. And can you observe students? We have V1 without the S, which means I write as the answer, he will write. I won't say he will writes. Is that correct? No. We all know about this, right? Yes. Now what about the word shall? When do we use it? We use the word shall when we take the subject as I, the pronoun I, or the pronoun we. Let's move on to the next one now. Perfect. Let's see the formation. The present perfect, past perfect, and the future perfect. For the present perfect, we have subject, have or has, and V3. V3 means the past participle. Like, he has written. Written, do you remember I told you the past participles end with ed, en, t and so on? Yes. So the past participle of write becomes written. I will say he has written. The next one now. Subject, had and V3 once again, which makes my answer as he had written. The future, subject, will or shall, then I will have the word have and then the V3, that is the past participle. And so my answer is he will have written. Let's take a look at the continuous tenses. First, the present continuous, past continuous, and next, future continuous. The formation of present continuous is on your screen. Subject, am is are plus verb plus ing. Of course, we all know that we choose one out of am is are, and that depends on the subject. So suppose if my subject is he, my choice will be is, and the answer is he is writing. The past continuous, the subject, the choice between was and were, and ing. So my answer is he was writing. For future, we always have the words like will, shall. So the answer becomes he will be writing. Or if I use the word I, the answer will be I shall be writing. Let's take a look at the next ones, perfect continuous. So the first, present perfect continuous, the past perfect continuous, or the future perfect continuous. Let's see the first one. Subject, have or has been plus verb plus ing, which makes my answer he has been writing. For the past, subject, had been verb plus ing, and that makes he had been writing. And the last, subject, will have been verb plus ing, and it makes he will have been writing. So now students, let us discuss the different uses of tenses. The first one, simple present versus the present continuous. The simple past versus the past perfect. And the next, simple past versus the present perfect. We normally get confused within all these. So now let's see the different uses. Let's take a look at the first one, simple present versus the present continuous. But before that, let us revise the formation. Simple present, subject, and our V1. You remember the answer? He writes. The next one, present continuous, subject, and then we have the choice between am is are and ing. Thus my answer, he is writing. Let's take a look at the simple present and its uses. It is used if you want to express the habitual action. For example, I eat dinner at 10 o'clock every day. That means something that you do every day. And that is called habitual action. And all your habitual actions are always given in simple present. The next one, he attends lectures by Professor Sharma twice a week. Now, this action of attending may not be every day, but it is still habitual because it is happening twice a week. So thus, the verbs eat and attends, these are in simple present form. Let's see the next one. To express a universal truth. For example, the earth is round in shape. Of course, will you say the earth was round in shape? Or will you say the earth will be round in shape? Never. You'll always say this in the present form. And that is why the simple present. Let's see the next one. We are human beings. Will you say we were human beings or we are going to be human beings? No. Again the same in the simple present form. Let's see the next one. In commentaries on sports. So the simple present is always used in different commentaries on sports. For example, Martin passes the ball, kicks, it is a goal. So this is how different people comment during the sports. So we have the verbs like passes, kicks and is in the present tense. Let's take a look at the next one now, the present continuous. The first use to express an action in progress at the time of speaking, which means when the action is happening, you are speaking the sentence. For example, we are playing football. So that means when I can see some people are playing football, I say this statement. The next one, the kid is eating an ice cream. I can see that one child is eating an ice cream and thus I make this statement. The next one now. The next use to express a temporary action that may not be actually taking place at the time of speaking. For example, she is learning French these days. So students, when I am saying this sentence, do you think this girl is next to me and I'm saying it? No. Which means I'm saying this, but this action may not be taking place right now in front of my eyes. So the next example, how many of you are doing research? So it doesn't mean that the research is happening right now in front of me. It simply means these days, nowadays, how many of you are doing the research? Let's see the next one now. To express one's immediate plans. For example, the Prime Minister is leaving for Singapore tomorrow. So in this sentence, we all know that even though the Prime Minister is not leaving in the present, he is leaving tomorrow, and tomorrow indicates one's immediate plans. So, the next one, where are you going tonight? So right now, the person is asking about the immediate plan and that is tonight. So these sentences are in present continuous form. Let's take a look at the next now. Do you think do all the verbs have continuous or progressive form? No. Verbs referring to mental states, for example, know, love, want, feel, desire and so on, or the verbs which indicate senses like smell, taste, see, all these verbs do not have continuous or progressive forms. For example, will you say, I am respecting you? No, it is a wrong statement. You'll always use the simple present, that is, I respect you. The next one, will you say, my son loves to draw and paint? Of course you will say this. It's a right sentence. But will you say, my son is loving to draw and paint? Absolutely wrong. We never use such a statement. That means such sentences, when we use, we need to use these verbs in the simple present form. And we can't use these verbs in the present continuous or the present progressive form. Let's go to the next one. Simple past versus the past perfect. Let's take a look at the formation quickly. Simple past, we all know, subject and V2, the past form. That means my answer is he wrote. And what is a past perfect? Again the subject, had and the V3, which means the past participle. So my answer is he had written. Now let's see the next. The simple past, the uses of simple past. The first one, to express an action completed in the past. For example, I left the house at 7 a.m. So this action was completed in the past and hence this is a simple past. The next one, we won the trophy last year. Now this is something that had happened in the past and the action is complete. Thus, the words left and won in these examples, they are in the simple past tense. The next use now, to express a past habit. For example, in my childhood, I woke up very early. So now, can you see the word childhood? Which indicates a past habit. And the past habit is to wake up very, very early. The next one, During those days, people worked hard and walked a lot. So, here the word those days indicate that this action used to happen in the past. Thus, the words like woke, worked and walked, all these are in simple past. Now, let's see the next. The past perfect. Let's see the use now. When two actions are in the past, the earlier action, that is the first action out of the two, it is in the past perfect, and the latter action, that is the next action, is in the simple past. For example, I met my friend yesterday. I had seen him before 5 years back. Now what do you think? There are two verbs in the sentence. The first one met, the second one had seen. What do you think? Which action must have taken earlier? Definitely, I had seen him before 5 years back, which means the action of seeing had taken first, and the action of meeting had just happened yesterday. So, the word met is in the simple past and the word see is in the past perfect, that is had seen. Let's take a look at the next one. He had opened the gift before the party started. So what do you think what happened first? Yes, opening of the gift. This action took place first and the party, the beginning of the party took later, and that is why it is in your simple past. Let's see the next one. When we arrived at the theatre, the show had already begun. So what must have happened first? Yes, the show had already begun, which means this action took place first and later we arrived, which means the first action was the beginning of the show and the next action was arrival at the theatre. Now let us divide those two sentences into two sections. Occurred first, occurred later. For example, I met my friend yesterday. I had seen him before 5 years back. So now, I had seen will go to the first column. I met will be in the second column. The next one. He had opened the gift before the party started. So we have the sentences like he had opened and the party started. He had opened, this action occurred first and the next the party started. Now let's take a look at the next one. When we arrived at the theatre, the show had already begun. We arrived is the first one. The show had begun is the next one. But which action took first? Yes, the show had begun, that action took first and the next action to take place was we arrived. Now let's take a look. I had seen, he had opened, the show had begun. All these sentences are in the same tense, past perfect. Whereas I met, the party started, we arrived, all these are in the simple past. So students, we conclude that the actions that take place first are always given in the past perfect and the actions that take place next or later, these actions are in a simple past tense. Let's see the next one now. Simple past versus the present perfect. Students, we have already done simple past. Yes, but right now let's take a look at the formation. Subject and we have the V2. So my answer is he wrote. The present perfect now. The present perfect is subject, then have has and we have V3. So the answer is he has written. Now let's see the uses of present perfect. Let's see the first one. To express recent past action whose time is not given. For example, I have been to France. So do we know when did the person go exactly? No. We just know that it is recent past. They have eaten food. So the action just took place, but we don't know exactly when did the action take place. So these two sentences become in the present perfect tense. The next use, to express a recently completed action with the word just. For example, I have just finished the homework. The next one, she has just left. Now, these two actions indicate something that happened just now, and these actions are over. These actions have finished. So, these are the uses of present perfect. The words like until now, so far, lately, not yet, recently, in recent years, for many years, over the last few years, in the past few months, since, and the year, for example, since 2012, 1993, etc. All such words are used in the tense present perfect. So whenever you identify such words, please look at the formation and see probably there is a present perfect tense. So students, we are through with the topic tenses. Thank you so much.